Sports.
3, 2, 1.
Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, let's get it going here on a Monday morning on this beautiful summer's day here in Tampa Bay. I'm not going to lie to you folks. I'm a little sleep deprived. This is a 2nd Celsius peach vibe. Looking for a little endorsement here, I think. Look at that. Look at that. Take a screenshot of that. 2nd Celsius this morning. In the process of doing a little moving this weekend. So sleep is at a minimum. But I got energy this morning. I'm bringing it.
Well, at least you came to work.
I came to work. I'm bringing it. I got another show to do after this on the lighter side of sports here at RHS TV. If you're not watching that with my co-host Serena Fazan, you're missing out. We got a world-class junior golfer coming in today and doing a show on golf. So I got lots to do today. Finish up emptying out the apartment. So yeah, it's going to be fun. Really looking forward to that. It's going to be a nice day. Hopefully I can get a nap in somewhere. But we're bringing the energy this morning, as you can tell. I mean, I'm just rocking it. And look at you. What are you doing? What are you bringing? You helping me out today? What do you got?
I always bring the energy. Come on now.
We got lots of fun stuff to talk about. The Rays this weekend split a series with the Royals. The Rays are trending down. The offense is regressing to the mean. Pitchers are getting injured. Is my negativity warranted here, or is it just because I'm just tired?
I think it's because you're tired.
Okay.
I think it's a bit unwarranted.
It's a bit unwarranted?
It's a bit unwarranted when you look a little deeper into this slid, or this skid, I guess, if you want to say. Bad
road trip. Then you come home and split with the O's and the Royals. I mean, the O's are good.
The O's are good.
The Royals have the third worst pitching staff in baseball.
Right.
We struggled. Last 17 outs Saturday, 17 straight outs on Saturday after taking a 4-0 lead, blow that game, and they come back on Sunday and barely eke out a 3-1 win when Tyler Glasnow is freaking dominant. And yeah, I mean the positives are Jose Siri with his 14th home run. Boy, did he pimp that one. Little spin job. It was nice. But, yeah, you know, Yandy, what was he was 4 for 4
at the plate.
Right.
Yeah, but I was going to say the reason why I think it's a little unwarranted and why I'm going to refrain is because we're talking about the Rays being in a slide, going back to, I guess we'll start with the Oakland series, right, where they took a split there. And then they lost two
Bad Oakland team. Bad.
Yeah, yes.
Bad A's.
A split against the A's. They lose 2 out of 3 against the Padres. So
on the road, so not horrible.
So 3-4 right there.
But an under 500.
3-4 right there. Then they play the Orioles. You go 1-1. So what? 4-5 right there.
Yeah.
And then you split against the Royals.
I mean, against that group right there, the Royals, throwing in the A's.
My point is this
Padres are not great.
My point is that's a 13-game sample size, so it's not really a big one, right? And they went 6-7.
Yeah, I guess when you're playing at a 700 clip, and you go 6-7 against some bad teams.
Of course, it's always going to leave a sour taste in your mouth because it feels like the Rays maybe are giving away some freebies. I guess that's the way to put it. It feels like they're giving away freebies, but in a 6 to 7 game stretch there, or a 6-7 stretch right there. Guess how many games they lost in the division?
How many?
A half game.
See, that's the thing. Even if, and we said this after the great start, you just play 500 baseball the rest of the way, you win the division.
Correct.
So it feels bad. It's all they have to do right now.
They've picked probably the most perfect time to have a slide, in that every team around the division right now is kind of playing 500 ball.
Yeah.
They all kind of are right now, and they still have a 4.5 game lead over the Orioles. They only lost a half game in this entire stretch right here. I think that's the encouraging thing. Their bad is not like, we just went 3-10 over a 13-game stretch. It's not like that. Like they're in these games, and a lot of them, if you look at them, a lot of them are 1-run games, 2-run games.
Yeah.
Like little margin of error things where it could have gone the other way.
Okay.
I mean,
All right.
that's what I'm looking at. And we're at the halfway point now. We're 81 games through. We've gotten a great look at this team. They're on pace for 108 wins.
I guess they set the expectation so high.
Absolutely.
Especially the offense,
But
right?
how many
And
teams
then when
have
you
made
see
it?
it regress, you're like, eh.
Yeah, but how many teams have made it this far into a season, I guess, over the last few years without having a slide? I mean,
I've lost 3 games one time.
exactly.
So, but the thing that kind of scares me a little bit is the regression to the mean of the offense, and that's you're seeing guys, come back to earth a little bit. Taylor Walls, Bethencourt, Josh Lowe.
Yeah.
There's no Brandon Lau, obviously. A Rosarena, he's been pretty steady.
He's been
this
coming
year.
back here a little
coming
bit.
back, yeah. So, that's that. I guess the expectations are more, and they've set the bar so high offensively that when they don't score 7-8 runs a game consistently, you're like, what's going on? But that's baseball. So, all right, you talked me off the ledge there. All right, Wander Franco comes back from his 2-game. What do you want to call this? Exile? I'll call it an exile. His 2-game exile.
I don't know if the definition fits, but I just love using the word sabbatical.
Sabbatical? It definitely wasn't a sabbatical.
It's not a sabbatical,
Definitely
but I
not
just
a sabbatical.
wanted to use the word, though.
You multisyllabic phenom. Listen, it's. We talked a lot about it last week. It was to me, it's a huge red flag. It's a huge red flag, and I haven't actually corroborated this, but I'm sure it's correct because I was listening to Rick Stroud's podcast, and he said that on Saturday, all the guys were wearing the Randy Arozarena T-shirts to warm up because they were all given to him in the clubhouse. One guy decided not to. Wander Franco. Now, you see, JP, why don't you talk about his home run after his exile? And then his RBI and the next at bat. Why don't you talk about that? Why you got to talk about the fact he didn't wear a stupid T-shirt? Because that's the thing. That's the thing. It's between. It's pretty clear that he and Randy are not bosom buddies. I don't think they're going out, to have Mas Cerveza together. I don't see that happening. So, is this a problem? And the other thing you have to bring up is, was Randy that allegedly tuned up Yandy Diaz last year in the parking lot. So is Randy the issue? And, do you have to start looking at maybe jettisoning one of these players? Wander's not going anywhere. And Randy, let us not forget, is a Scott Boras client. So just, throwing some things out there. And folks, teams have been successful when not everybody loves each other. That's not. It's not disqualifying. You're not going to – there are teams that have won World Series and played very well when there's a couple guys in the clubhouse that don't like each other. It's not the end of the world. But they got to – it can't be something that is so prevalent that it's a constant issue in the clubhouse. You can't have that. So it has to be managed in some way. And, coming off a suspension or a exile or a sabbatical, whatever you want to call it, and then, everybody else is wearing the T-shirt and you're not. It's just, to me, that's not a great sign. That's not a okay, I learned my lesson. I'm trying to get along, do everything everybody else is doing. It's not a good sign. Just saying. But he came out and he did his job, and that's the most important thing, right? Came out and did his job. And, as Rick mentioned, and you kind of think about this, is the Randy land and the Randy at the WBC and all this stuff, is that something that is irking Wander Franco? And if it is, that's on Wander Franco. Like you got to be happy for your teammate's success. You can't be one of those guys that wants to dump on your teammate's success. That's not a recipe for a great clubhouse. And when you're two stars, and arguably they are, well, I throw Shane McClanahan in there, right? These are two of your biggest stars, are at odds. It's not a great thing. Now, as Rick also pointed out, Keyshawn Johnson and Warren Sapp hated each other. They won a Super Bowl together. So it's not it's not something that's – but baseball's a little different because you're around each other all the freaking time. All the freaking time. And if your two stars are having palpable disagreements all the time, it's like going to a family dinner when two of your family members are fighting, or they hate each other, at a certain holiday or something. Oh, they're going to be – there's always there's tension in the air, right? There's you don't like that.
To me, there's no issue that nobody can talk out if you're really all about winning and all those things. And even look at baseball, the examples that come to mind, A-Rod and Jeter, just the perfect example.
Yeah, they weren't chummy.
I don't think they really enjoyed each other.
No.
Right?
No.
Now they're all chummy.
Yeah.
I think it's ironic, right? You saw that over the weekend. They're working together now on the Fox booth with Big Papi. It's cool to see. But when they were playing with the Yankees,
when they throw that TV money at you, it tends to smooth things over.
Yeah, by the way, you see the gift that Big Papi gave Jeter?
No.
At the desk?
What did he give him?
He got him a gift for his first day on the Fox thing, and he opened it up, and it was a Derek Jeter Red Sox jersey.
What?
And Jeter just immediately saw it, didn't even open it up all the way, just got it, just threw it offset immediately.
Totally planned.
Great banter between those three, but I digress.
Totally planned.
Jeff Kent and Barry.
Wait,
go ahead.
You're saying removing Pete Rose from the dais was – how long was he on there, the Fox? Was that just,
maybe a year before.
Was that just the most uncomfortable thing ever?
Yeah.
Watching that dude?
Yeah. We could just, I know you don't like canceling people, but we can just move Pete Rose into the background.
That's fine with me.
That's fine.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's not canceling. That's putting out the pasture.
Probably, yeah.
More like putting him out the pasture.
But anyway, to my point, another example I think of, now they didn't win a championship, but they got close, with Jeff Kent and Barry Bonds. Famously did not like each other.
Oh,
hated each other. In
well,
fact,
everybody hated Barry Bonds.
True.
Yeah.
True. And even on this team before.
Ubiquitous dick.
Even on this team before. I like it. I like that word, ubiquitous. Say it again?
Ubiquitous.
Ubiquitous.
He's a ubiquitous dick.
I like that.
Yeah, I think I used that correctly. I don't know.
I hope so.
My second Celsius, I'm a little.
Did you put 5-hour energy with that, by the way?
I did not.
Oh,
I would
my
not.
goodness.
No, then I'd have cardiac issues. 2 Celsius and a 5-hour energy.
That would knock you out.
Yeah, bring the paddles in.
Anyway, and on this team, as I try to get to my point here, on this team, if I recall correctly, B.J. Upton and Longoria had a spat in the dugout. In like 2009, 2010, right?
They did, yeah.
They had a spat, and
You're
they were
correct.
two young players coming up.
Correct, sir.
They were both two young players coming up, and I believe it was because B.J. was very lackadaisical and going to get a ball in center, and that whole thing happened. And I think Joe Madden took him out of that game, if my memory serves me correct.
You are correct again, sir.
And that team won 96 games that year.
Yeah.
Right, made the playoffs. So I mean, we've had examples of that. If that is what it is, you just got to figure out a way. And I saw what Wander said.
It ain't the end of the world.
It's not the end of the world. I saw what Wander said, and he seems to understand it whenever, and he applauded the Rays. He didn't get all mad or anything like that. He had a smile on his face this weekend, which I didn't see the series prior, where he looked like he was moping a little bit.
Yeah.
And to your point, he comes up in the first inning, and because we just spent talking about that, let's play the home run.
Oh, let's do that.
Let's play the home run that he had
Welcome
there
back,
in the first
Wander.
inning off of Jordan Lyles.
Welcome back.
Won a game, and I've got to go out there and do it again. That takes some fortitude.
Ooh.
Franco gets into this one, sends it high and deep to center. Waters all the way back. Goodbye. Wander Franco in his first at-bat back hits a 2-1 pitch out to center field.
I like it. Yeah, that was a nice welcome back. He was not brooding. He's going to come back and here's me. I'm like, ooh, let's see how the dugout reacts to him coming back in. It was muted. Can I say that? Well, you can watch the whole highlight. Watch it. If you have watch the whole highlight. Watch him come back into the dugout. You play the audio. I don't even know what they're going to say, if anything. But you just watch him come back in the dugout for the
2-1 pitch out to center
listening.
field.
Can't really see it. So normally there's more of a
Number 9
group
for
of guys
Franco.
welcoming him.
Well, we've seen
Siri
his
with a pat on
talent, and we have seen the knack he has.
Yeah, fine for me.
And
That's fine.
Everything
I'm
looked normal.
nitpicking.
Everything
I'm
looked
nitpicking
normal.
there.
Yeah, you're nitpicking. You're nitpicking.
there. Yeah, I admit it. Yeah, it needs to get worked out. It really does. And I don't. The whole not wearing of the shirt thing kind of bothers me a little bit. But whatever. Hopefully they can get it all worked out. Now Tyler Glasnow, This is, I think, the best development of the whole weekend. He fixed his mechanics, wasn't overthrowing, 26 swings and misses. What did you say? That's the sixth most this year?
That is the sixth most this year of any pitcher.
And that's in 5 innings?
In 5 innings, yeah.
26 swings and misses in 5 innings?
Yep.
That's unheard of, bro. I bet that's the most in 5 innings this year. That is freaking unbelievable. And, 12 strikeouts in 5 innings. 12 strikeouts in 5 innings. 12 of the 15 outs were strikeouts?
Yep.
That's outstanding. That's outstanding. And he was really, really good. Really
this
good.
is actually, here you go. This is the most in a 5-inning start by any pitcher.
I knew it.
In the pitch tracking era.
In the pitch tracking era?
Which dates back to 2008.
Holy shiz. That's a lot.
Yeah, and it's his one shy of his career mark, which he reached twice in 2021. He had 27, 2 games of 27.
That's swing and miss stuff right there.
That's swing and miss stuff.
Wow.
So all of a sudden, it's funny how baseball works, isn't it? It's like after Glasnow's last start, we're like talking about low velo, and we're talking about mechanics, and
well, my fear was
can't trust him and all this stuff, and then he just comes back out and does that.
Well, my fear was if he can't get his mechanics right, he's going to overthrow and hurt himself.
Right.
So, and do we have his audio?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's play his audio because he talks about how Kyle Snyder came out and said, "You're doing it again. You're crossing your body. Whatever these these key words are for these guys." And it's let's listen to Tyler Glasnow. I'll shut up.
All right, Tyler, 12 strikeouts, 26 swings and misses. Looked like you were feeling better today. Would you say so yourself?
Yeah, today was much better. I think just kind of harping on the direction during the week and then kind of getting with Kyle and like him giving me reminders and stuff throughout the game. It was way better today.
Do you feel like that delivery was in sync and you felt as athletic as you said you wanted to feel?
Yeah, I think it got better like as the game went on. I think the fifth inning was the inning I was like, all right, it was like I didn't have to think about it. It felt back to normal. But that was the most comfortable I felt in a long time.
That play at the plate to get Garcia with Bethancourt, can you take us through that?
I just didn't want him to score, and I saw the ball, and I just wanted to get in front of home and just try and put the tag on, and I'm glad I beat him. And yeah, it was a big run, especially just early on, and I'm just glad I got him out.
You feel like you got back toward that effortless velo that you said you were looking for?
Yeah, I think like as Kyle made that mound visit, when someone would get on, I'd kind of revert back. I would just start like competing a little bit and like revert back to being across my body. And he was like, came out and was like, "You're doing it again." And then right when he came out and said that, I just like it didn't leave my mind, and I just got back to it. And I think that fifth inning was the first time I felt like very low effort, and then velo was back up, and I was kind of like checking it out, and it felt way more natural.
Is that really all he says? You're doing it again? You're like,
oh, he's like, yeah, you're gonna crush right again. I was like, no, there's no chance. Like I felt like I was like really trying to not do it, and then like the next pitch, I was like, oh yeah, I kind of am doing it again, and he really helped me out, come out and give me that adjustment, and then like I took that into the fifth inning, and it was the best I felt.
That's good coaching right
see
there.
The work that you put in kind of lead to the results this way.
Yeah, I think it's more just about like catching the like mechanical thing early. I think like the work is always kind of just, I don't know, it'll always be there. You kind of have like everyone here to keep you accountable on it. I just think like catching the adjustment early is what I'm most happy about.
Play at the plate, did you see the runner coming, or did you just put your hand back?
I kind of I felt him, I guess. I don't know. I knew he was running home, and I just picked up CB and got the ball and just tried to get like kind of around home plate and not block it, but like just get to a point where I could tag him out. Yeah.
Trevor, this was game 81 for you guys, just halfway through. How pleased are you with where you guys are at?
It's awesome. That's great. We've been playing really well all season, and we've maintained it throughout the season as well. It's not really been like a bunch of ups and downs, and we've kind of been steady, and it's just a very like reassuring feeling. Just being on a team like this, it's a great feeling.
I mean, he's the key. I've said this the whole deal. He is the key, no question about it. If he stays healthy, this team has a great chance to advance deep into the playoffs. Now, that's assuming that Shane McClanahan and Eflin are going to stay healthy as well. If you can have those three guys in the postseason, the Rays are going to be really, really hard to beat. But this offense, if it continues to produce the way it has, they're going to be really, really tough to beat.
You still want to put Taj in there? Who do you trust? Who do you trust right now more? And the benefit of seeing what we saw yesterday from Glasnow, which was as close to his old self as we've seen, And what you've seen from Taj Bradley, albeit an 11-game, 12-game sample size, not a big one, but it's still it's a sizable one.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you trust more in a big spot at the moment? Taj Bradley or Tyler Glasnow? Because I think we'd all assume that the 1-2 guys right now would be McClanahan and Eflin.
You know, for questions like this, Nick, I always like to go to the relationship metaphor.
Okay.
Like, who do you trust more? Taj is she's the hot chick that you know, she's not only is she hot, but she's, you know, so far she's really stepped up to the plate. You know, she came over and did your laundry, made you dinner one night, you know, really, really good, bought you a really, really cool gift, you know. But you're still kind of in a wait and see mode. And then you also, you know, you're still kind of in the wait and see mode. Like, this is too good to be true, you know? You know, Mom and Dad used to say, if it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. So you're still kind of, you know, he has a couple of hiccups there. You know, she once in a while she shows a little something and you're like, I don't know. Is she faking it, or is she the real deal? That's Taj right now. But it could be the real deal. You know, you just don't know. You don't want to give up on it. Now, Glasnow is, you know, the super hot chick. The super hot chick that has everything. I mean, it's just bada bing, bada boom. She does it all. But she just disappears. She goes MIA. You can't count on her. You can't count on her. So, I mean, you just don't know. She's off, you know. What next thing you know, you look on the Instagram, she's off with some other dude, you know, and Turks and Caicos. And you can't count on her. So who do you go with? Either one of them, you're just like, you know, you just don't know. But I can tell you this. They both can really, really do it for you. They can really, really do it for you. And all we need is 1 year. All we need is one World Series. So let's my answer to that is I don't know. I don't know. But listen, to count on Tyler Glasnow is complete folly. It's complete folly. You just got to hope that you're going to have, you know, that you're just going to have a good run. It's never going to be the long-term answer because, first of all, she's really expensive. You can't keep up with her. You know you can't afford her, especially next year. You can't afford her. She's $25 million next year. It's way too much for you. You know that. So you almost like hope to like, all right, let's take a one really good long vacation here, like have a really good ride, and then you know it's going to be she's going off to somebody else. But it could be the ride of your life. It could be the ride of your life. You never know.
These are some crazy analogies you're making here.
But I think it works, though. It really works, though. You don't. I mean, you just for Tyler Glasnow, you know that this is the year they're gonna ride him out, see where it goes, and hopefully, if he stays healthy, that's why I'm saying he's the linchpin. If he stays healthy, and can pitch deep into the postseason, you're putting four guys, and say Taj, you know, just continues to do his thing. You've got, and we haven't even talked about the back-to-back starter of the All-Star game yet. We haven't even talked about her.
Right.
The super, super, super hot one. I mean, so you got a harem right now. You got a harem of hotties, and they're good. They're really, really good. But can you keep them together? Can you keep them all together for one season, one magical run? Can you keep them all together? That's the trick. That's the trick. And given the Rays' history of injuries, that's a big fat no. History tells us that's a big fat no. But it could happen. It could happen. You just don't know. I mean, that's and here's the other part of it. You got the back end of the bullpen is completely suspect. To your point, we have a poll up today, which I want you guys to talk about. What's the exact wording of this? Well, it's pretty simple. I'm trying to find it here. You guys can jump in here at any time and help me out.
Are you talking about the
poll?
The Chapman one?
Of course, duh. Given his checkered past, would you be in favor? I just dazzled you with my metaphor, and now you can't even speak. Given the checkered past, would you be in favor of the Rays acquiring Aroldis Chapman from the Royals? Hell yes is getting 86% of the vote. Hell no getting only 14% of the vote. I have changed my tune after watching that son of a bitch throw. He's exactly what we need. He's exactly what we need. Again, one magical run. It's like AB. Keep it together for 1 year, bro. Just Aroldis, just keep it together for 1 year. He knows right now that he's on the precipice of another huge contract.
Right.
So if he just keeps it together for 1 year, for this year, and goes to a contender, which he's going to go to a contender. The Royals are going to sell him off, no question about it. And he's going to demand a price. And he is a rental. So, I mean,
I just need it for 1 year, and not even 1 year. I'm talking.
You got to give up.
What am I talking here? 3 months?
Yeah, but you're going to give up a lot of booty to get him.
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to be as extreme, maybe, as people think. I mean, he's still.
I disagree. There's a lot of teams that are in contention that are going to be after this guy.
Well, yes.
Who's not going to be after him?
Yeah, but I wonder how many teams are going to give pause because, like as I mentioned in the wording of the tweet, checkered past, and there's a lot to go off of there where you could just straight up say this is not a good dude. I mean, if you wanted to say that,
that's why I was against it in the beginning.
If you wanted to say that, you could say that.
My situational ethics.
And when it comes to the Rays,
being
though,
what they are.
When it comes to the Rays, I think they value having good dudes.
They do,
and
absolutely
that's where I'm
do.
like, are they willing to get pretty uncomfortable there and add a potential volatile kind of personality into this locker room clubhouse feel right now that we have, this family feel.
And let's just be honest, this is not, as we have discussed, this is not the most solid clubhouse in baseball. I mean, it's a little bit of a powder keg.
I don't think it's a powder keg. I don't see these.
Your two stars are feuding.
Well, we don't know that. We're
We're
kind of just speculating a little bit. We're speculating a little bit. I see one player who's 22 years old who's learning how to be a pro and is not handling it the right way, and the team has done their part in it. I don't see any other issues with this team. This team still does all the things that you would expect a championship team to do.
We're talking about Randy and Wander, and you're telling me it's not a powder keg.
Well,
your two biggest stars.
I don't think it's a powder keg.
I'm like, Shane McClanahan is a star. We get that. But these two are the most, like, we don't have any problem. Like, Shane's not going to be popping off, right?
No.
These two guys are the ones that have gotten into a verbal altercation already. If one that we know of, probably more than that. And then, he doesn't go out and wear the T-shirt 2 days after a 2-day exile. Not a great sign. Not a great sign.
How many situations?
So now you're going to bring Chapman into it. Another big personality, big star.
Yeah, but I kind of think like what helps. I don't know. I kind of like it is the demographic of the team.
Yeah.
I think it's a good fit for Chapman from that standpoint, right? That's the way I kind of look at it.
Because it's a young, Latin heavy team.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I think that's a good I'm trying not to put. I don't like putting these guys in a box, so I almost feel weird saying it. But I don't know. I feel like it's a good atmosphere for him. He fits the vibe. Like I've seen you pass the vibe check of the clubhouse. Yeah. I think he passes the vibe check of the clubhouse.
Listen, and we get into dangerous territory here in the world that we live in here by saying these particular.
Yeah,
things.
That's why I don't like putting people in a box like that.
And I don't either. I don't want to do that. But I have plenty of my friends that have played Major League Baseball and been in clubhouses, guys I've talked to a lot, and you can have too many alphas. You can have too many alphas in a locker.
But with that being also too, it being said, have you heard of any issues with the Aroldis Chapman on the Royals this year?
I've not.
You haven't heard a peep.
Not.
It seems by all accounts. Now I don't follow the Royals closely. I don't know how many people do around Major League Baseball. But I haven't heard a peep. I just see a guy that goes out there and listen. I actually think he might be taking it more serious this year because I'm just.
How old is Chapman?
He's 34. But just look at the mechanics. If you look at a side-by-side mechanical breakdown of him last year and him this year, it's completely different.
Yeah, he's good.
He's completely different.
so
And that's why
locked
his velocity is back to where he's throwing like 103, 104 BBs. The movement, it's the movement.
Oh, you can see it.
Like I'm watching some of these pitches. Like these are two-seamers that he's throwing 102 that are tailing away from guys. You just can't touch it.
You can just see his delivery, and it's easy gas.
It's easy gas.
Easy gas.
It looks exactly like he's getting a lot lower. When I say the mechanics, he's getting a lot lower when he starts his wind up there and then like just fires away. He's getting lower than he was last year, and that's allowing him to throw harder and have success. And so that's why I'm like, I think he's almost a lot more energized this year.
Lonnie says brings up Chapman worked for the Cubs. Yeah, I mean, there's no question that he's been in these high leverage situations. Maybe Madden may have leaned on him a little bit too much in that World Series.
A little bit.
But he's been there and done it. And he's been there and failed, which may be even more valuable, to be quite honest. He's done both, so you know that he's not going to freak out if something bad happen. He'll come back the next day and get her done. So look, it's hard to say no. Because that's exactly what you need.
And it's because
they need a power arm, especially from the left side, who can get swings and misses.
Yes, because I think. Well, no, I already think they've. Here's the one thing I will tell you, though.
Okay.
The Rays already have a power lefty in their bullpen right now, and he's been great. Jake Diekman.
Oh, are we gonna depend on him?
Have you seen Jake Diekman throw? His last 12 outings?
He's been good.
No, he's been fantastic. He's been like one of the best relievers in baseball. I mean, he struck out the side the other day with ease, throwing easy 98, 99 gas. Okay, the Rays have the Kyle Snyder magic I mentioned last year. It's not exactly spreading to some guys, but it's spread to Jake Diekman, who had like an 8 ERA before the Rays acquired him.
That's why I'm saying, can you trust him?
Well, I mean, I look at him now. I can trust him at the moment. I could certainly trust him at the moment right now. Jake Diekman is your best reliever at this very moment right now for the Rays.
Okay.
Now, does that tell me I can't get another guy like that?
No. You got to go out and get.
You can always have it. You always can have more pitching.
But here's the other thing, though. And this is where I believe in Neander and I believe in the Rays. There's other guys out there. That'll probably be a better fit.
There are. There are a lot of guys who are cheaper too, probably.
And cheaper, right? Exactly. Because listen, as much as I want to sit here and say, hey, this is a magical season. This is the team. You got to go all in. You still got to protect your future because this is not a team that's ever going to be, as far as we know, with this ownership group, is not going to be spending over $100 million in payroll. So you got to protect those. Like I'm sure they regret dealing Ryan a couple of years ago to the Twins, right? That didn't work out. They've given away some guys that they probably shouldn't have, but they've also missed out on some guys by not giving up key pieces in certain times. So it's a fine line. So I will just say this, in your poll, I'm saying yes. Go get me Aroldis Chapman. Now,
I mean, would you like to hear some
what's the cost?
Yeah.
I mean, now we don't know what that cost is going to be, but I'm not giving up any of my top.
I feel pretty confident.
Prospects.
Maybe I'm off base. I could be, but I don't. I feel a little confident that they can avoid touching the top.
You're not giving up Taj Bradley.
No. That's like fantasy land. I mean, like the top 4 prospects that the Rays have in their system, because they have like 4 guys who are like in the top 50, I think, right now.
Right.
In the latest rankings, I kind of feel confident you might be able to get out with that. Because I'm serious. Like I know Chapman's having a great season. He looks like the old Chapman, but his trade market seems like the hardest one to forecast because of the issues dating back to as recently as last year. Mm-hmm. I'm curious to see now, but then again, you have to realize. Are the Royals going to be extra stingy in trading him and holding out? Because I think that's the big reason why the Royals signed him in the first place, was to try to recover him a little bit, get him back on track, and then flip him at the deadline for a major haul.
Yeah.
So it's kind of what the Royals think right now.
Well, and you also got to say that the Rays had a chance to go out and get Chapman in the offseason like the Royals did.
I don't think many teams were going after. There's a reason why he ended up in Kansas City.
Right. Exactly.
For a very cheap price.
So, of course, the Rays vetted him.
I don't even know if the Rays even vetted him. You have to think. When the Rays were going into the season, they felt they had the best 8-9 combo in the league.
Point being, they said no. They evaluated. Trust me, they evaluated him. They looked at it because they looked at everything, and they said no, thank you. So what's changed? Well, first of all, his performance. And that's meaningful. That's meaningful. I mean, he was bad. Why would you take a chance on a malcontent or whatever you want to call him, a checkered past? I think that's a great way to put it. If he's not even going to be, there's no assurance he's going to be effective. Now he's straightened himself out. He's dominant, and I don't know. I just feel like it all depends on what the price is, obviously. But I'm gonna say let's go let's go for it.
What about his teammate? Scott Barlow's another one. Everybody. If you're on the Royals, pretty much, if you're not named Bobby Witt Jr. and you're not named
you're available.
A couple other guys, you're available. I mean, everybody's talked about their closer because Chapman's not the closer. The closer is Scott Barlow, who's been one of the more dependable closers in the league over the past 3 seasons.
I'll take either one.
I mean, I think he might be maybe a little bit cheaper, potentially. I mean, I just was looking at some of the guys that are on here who might be a little bit more of a safe, maybe is the word I'll use.
Exactly.
I mean,
there's other guys.
There's definitely other guys in here. I mean, some teams that aren't contending. The White Sox are going to be a team that's going to be selling, and they have some guy like Joe Kelly throws like 102, and he's been there, done that, right? So I mean, there's some guys out here. It doesn't have to be Chapman. I just think because we saw him this week, obviously he's the flavor of the week right now, right?
Yeah.
To talk about because the stuff is electric. The stuff is electric.
Dominate us. Yeah.
Exactly.
Buck's Basement asks, do you think the cheap owner has learned his lesson for how close we were in 2020 that he is going to make some big acquisitions by the trade deadline? By the way, just hint to you commenters out there, if you want to get your comment read and put up here, and we say your name and everything, put cheap owner in, and JP will of course go right to it. That's easy bait. I'll even cop to that, of course. Yeah, every time. If you want to, even if you're talking about Bucks. You want to say something, about Stu that he's cheap, I'll throw it in there. Just so you, for those if those of you who don't know, it's pretty obvious. Anyway, it's not so much. What bothered me about 2020 was 2021. The fact that you got rid of Blake Snell and Charlie Morton. You didn't pick up a freaking $15 million option for one of the best pitchers in baseball, especially in crunch time and postseason. That's what pissed me off. That's where your cheap owner really, really cheaped out. Really, really cheaped out. And then the Braves went and got him. And they won the World Series. Shocking development. So that's where, to me, it's about holding on to players now. Signing them to long-term deals. Like Jose Siri. As Thomas Casper points out, Siri needs an immediate contract extension today. Get it done now. But then again, do you want to give this guy a boatload of cash for a half a season? I mean, I don't know. Has he turned the corner?
Who are you talking about?
Jose Siri.
Do I want to give him a boat? Well, here, I don't think I have to right now. That's the thing. A lot of guys, again, if you go back and look at the payroll situation, they are not in a position where they have to.
No, they don't have to.
Necessarily give out these extensions. I think you just continue to let that guy develop. I mean,
you don't give it to him now, Thomas. You got to let him cook a little bit.
I mean, he's been very important. I mean, he's leading the Rays in home runs or tied with Randy, and he hits 9th.
Yeah.
And he had an IL stint in there as well.
Yeah, and he's athletically one of the most gifted players in baseball. His speed is a game changer with the new rules. I mean, game changer.
Hey,
he manufactures a run yesterday in a 3-1 game.
Right.
Completely manufactures a run. I mean, that to me, that's a value that has just gone up tremendously in this year, and I love it for baseball. Bringing speed back to the game of baseball. Hell, freaking yes.
Hey,
Let's go.
By the way, I've been scheming over here because I came across a tweet from John Morosi of MLB Network, and remember how we were talking about the Rays needing to have a veteran in the clubhouse?
Right. Yes.
Right. And
we like that idea.
We like that idea. How would you like? And this is from John Morosi. The Pirates are likely to be deadline sellers.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew McCutchen having his best offensive year since 2015.
Yes.
He mentioned him as a potential trade candidate.
Yes.
36. He's never played in a World Series, so he has that to chase.
Pride of Fort Meade.
And from Fort Meade, Florida.
I've been to Fort Meade. In fact, I went to Fort Meade to do a story on Andrew McCutchen.
There you
How
go.
about that?
There you go.
Hell of a football player, by the way.
So, I think at this point in his career and the fact that he came back home to Pittsburgh and all that, I think he's going to have pretty much full autonomy over where he wants to go.
Somebody on this dais talked about signing him in the offseason, and somebody said you're out of your freaking mind.
Okay, well, you want to see Andrew McCutcheon's numbers going into this season weren't exactly looking too hot.
I felt something coming.
Well, he's playing in a friendly confines again of Pittsburgh. It seems a little magical there.
What are his numbers now?
9 home runs, 24 ribbies, hitting 271,
Nice.
825 OPS, and
Nice.
127 OPS plus.
How many stolen bases does he have?
He's still got 9.
That's all right.
He's got 9.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Still a plus defender, I would say.
I'm sure it's probably not. I mean, I don't need him. I'm not necessarily looking for him to be a defender at the moment.
Yeah, but still, he's
I'm just
always,
looking for a veteran that can come on. And now, do the Rays have a spot necessarily for a guy like that? I don't know necessarily. If
I'm adding a BAP, I want a little bit more pop than that, but still pretty good.
I'm looking for the invaluableness of being a clubhouse guy.
I love it.
A guy chasing for a World Series ring.
Stellar dude.
It's storybook
Stellar
because
dude.
It's storybook because I'm going to assume maybe this was his team rooting for. I know he's a little older, so the Rays were obviously just around when he was probably in high school, but still same thing though. It's his hometown team.
Hard to find a better guy, more respected in the game,
than
Andrew McCutcheon.
Right,
Which is what you're looking for.
Just a potential guy.
No, I love it. I love it. That's a, what. How does he fit? Whose place does he take?
And by the way, you're not getting him an arm and a leg. He's on a 1-year, $5 million deal. So you're paying about 2.5 if that out of it.
Yeah, that's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. So yeah, I like where you're going with that. Absolutely. So that's the state of the Rays right now as we approach the All-Star break. Hard to ask more from a team in this. What did you say you're going to give us our
Yeah, I'm gonna take a break and then we'll come back. And I know
the Rays superlatives.
I know you haven't thought much about it, but we can do a little segment on it. Let's give out our Rays superlatives. We're 81 games through.
Okay.
Okay, and I'll read the rules real quick. You got to give your MVP. All right.
Okay.
Your biggest surprise.
Biggest surprise. All right, I'm writing this down. Everybody play along at home.
All right.
Tweet it out.
Biggest disappointment.
Biggest disappointment.
Which might be the hardest thing to figure out, honestly. And then 2 things, and you kind of have to do a little bit of, and your brain has been a little bit all over the place this morning, as you admitted to me.
Yes.
What's the best thing you saw from this team, the best moment of this year so far?
Moment.
And then what is the worst moment so far
best
of the
moment
season?
Wow, that's a lot.
So you got 5 things right there. It's 5 things right there. Think about it in the break. I've already got mine ready to go. And, of course, this is open. This is open for everybody to chime in.
Let's tweet that out, intern Nick. Can we tweet that out? Give me every – not in terms of a poll. Just line them up right there. Say comment. And, so everybody can play along. All right, we're going to get to some Bucks talk. Our friends at Pewter Report did a great interview with Dave Canales. I want to hit that. Gators' big win last night at the College World Series. Braden Point up for the Lady Bing. We'll talk a little Lightning as well. So lots to get to here today. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, Bay Area Modern Medical Center, Italiano Insurance, the Golden Diamond Source, Extravaganza Productions, and American Mortgage Services. Back in 3. Are you experiencing those feelings of getting older, lower sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, or you just don't feel like you had the vitality you once had? It's a chronic problem here in the United States. You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well, so do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Look, testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability, not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Folks, I've been on testosterone therapy for over 6 years, and it is a life changer. You will feel and look better than you did 10 years ago. Give them a call at 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group. Have you been injured in an accident, in an auto accident, truck accident, motorcycle accident, at work, or at a place of business? Well, call the Jeeves Law Group and get the personal attention that you deserve. I made the mistake many, many years ago with going with one of the bigger law firms, the national law firms. And let me tell you, getting a call back from those folks was next to impossible. Weeks and weeks would go by, never get a call back. That doesn't happen with the Jeeves Law Group. Personal attention is what they're all about. When you call the Jeeves Law Group, you will be part of the family. They will represent you in a vigorous and aggressive way against the insurance companies. These larger companies will promise bigger settlements, but it's the Jeeves Law Group that will get you the best results. If you're tired of dealing with these bigger law firms, check out the Jeeves Law Group. Go to JeevesLawGroup.com, tell them JP sent you, get a free consultation. It's the Jeeves Law Group. Scott Jeeves has been representing clients in the Tampa Bay area for over 25 years. Give them a call. It's a free call, 727-894-2929, 727-894-2929, or go to JeevesLawGroup.com.
During COVID, over 1.7 million people were added to the Florida Medicaid rolls, but as of April 1st, 2023, most of these people may not be eligible for the Medicaid coverage and will lose their health plan. If you have been notified you are losing your coverage, don't freak out. It's very likely you can apply for a federal subsidy under the Affordable Care Act. Just call 877-652-0244. Our representatives will walk you through the whole process, get some basic information on your income, number of kids, and then they'll find a plan that best fits your needs. In fact, with the new laws, 90% of Americans qualify for reduced or free health care. You can select great plans like Florida Blue, that's my carrier, love them, paying $800 left after making the call. 877-652-0244. Our highly trained professionals know all the intricacies of the new laws. They will do all the work, you save tons of money. So if you're being dropped from Medicaid, fear not. Call 877-652-0244. Get real health insurance, free doctor visits, free blood work, no deductibles. 877-652-0244.
Hey, JP here for Extravaganza Productions Incorporated, EPI. You've probably seen their purple logo at so many events that you've gone to. They are based in Tampa, and for over 33 years, they've been creating and producing conferences, meetings, and special events, the biggest to the smallest. Solid reputation of delivering the best audio-visual, sound, lighting, entertainment, video production, and decor on time and on budget. I've worked with them with so many big events. The Warrior Games, which was an Olympic-style event all over Tampa Bay, from McDill to the Convention Center to USF. They did it flawlessly, made it look big and fantastic. I've worked with them on small events as well, large and small meetings and conferences, sporting events, fundraisers. If you got a fundraiser, you don't know the logistical way to pull it off, they'll take care of everything. Entertainment events, branding events, grand openings, so much more. The folks at Extravaganza Productions are the most professional and the best. I've worked with them many times. They are fantastic. You can contact them through extravaganzaproductions.com or call 813-621-4700. Extravaganza Productions, they are awesome.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. I was listening to a spot the other day about the biggest law firm in the world, how big they are. Folks, the Jeeves Law Group is big enough. They're big enough to get done what you need to get done, because everything is done locally, right? Everything is done locally. You got to know the local judges. You got to know the local, the folks here, that run the justice system. If you're going to get into court and get a great settlement and get that personal attention, that's what the Jeeves Law Group gives you. They're big enough to be able to fight these big insurance companies. Of course, they can do that, but they're small enough to give you that personal attention, because trust me, these bigger law, it's a factory, folks. They're just trying to get settlements, get them done. Whereas with the Jeeves Law Group, they take an interest in your case, and they're going to give a lot more attention. You'll be able to get calls back from your attorney. That's so important, because that's what, good information, good communication, that's what makes a great case, right? So go with the Jeeves Law Group. Give them a call over there. Go to JeevesLawGroup.com. Go to their website. Make sure you tell them JP was the one who told you to call them, right? And you'll get special attention if you do that. And I know what Scott Jeeves is going to be doing tonight. He's going to be watching his Gators play for the national championship in baseball. They won 20. Before we get to our Rays, best and worst, I have to give a tip of the cap to those Florida Gators who bombed out 24 runs last night, a College World Series record, 23 hits, and a lot of local guys pitching in. How do you say his last name from Plant High School? Gaglione?
I believe it's Caglione.
Gaglione. He hit 2 home runs yesterday of the 6 that the Gators hit with the wind blowing out in Omaha there. So they lose late, 4-3 and 10.
Yeah, crazy game on Friday.
Crazy
night,
game
Saturday
on Friday.
night.
Yeah, Saturday. Crazy game. Then you come back and bomb LSU. And, once a team gets down like that, and they got to save their pitching for Game 3, so let's not go crazy. And, of course, here comes Paul Skeens tonight.
Well, we don't
LSU.
We don't know.
Oh, he's pitching.
We don't know, but
he's
we're
pitching
gonna,
until his arm falls off.
You would think.
Yeah,
you
trust
would
me
think
on
that
that.
Paul Skeens is probably going to be on the mound tonight for LSU somewhere in this game.
100%.
Somewhere in this game.
No, you got to start him. You start him.
It'll be 3.5 days rest going into Monday night's game.
Yeah, you got to start him. They're going to start him and see how far he can go. That's what they're going to do. I've seen, I go back to 1989. 1989, I was covering the World Series in Omaha. I was there for 2 weeks. Ran out of underwear. True. And for News Channel 27 in Tallahassee. And they went back, and Mike Martin went back to Richie Lewis after about 2 days rest. And they had a lead. I think they had Miami down like 9-6, 9-5. They were up, and they brought him in, and his arm was just toast. It was toast. They lost that, and, of course, famously, Mike Martin never won the College World Series. That was easily his best chance. And sometimes you go back to the well with these guys, and it's impossible for guys to bounce back like that. And, there's another part of that with Skeens. I mean, he's going to be the number 1 overall pick. And if he injures his arm tonight going out there.
Yeah, this is where, like I don't know if Paul Skeens, can you have an agent when you're in college? Like this?
I still don't think you can have an agent.
Still don't think so?
No, but let's just be honest. He's talking to agents, and agents are definitely in his ear, But these kids, I mean, it's LSU. It's the College World Series. You can be immortalized with a performance like this. You go out there tonight and win a College World Series, you live forever. Especially, that's the Ed Ogeron moment right there.
Yeah,
LSU. I mean, you're just it's.
The way he threw on Thursday night against Wake Forest in that gotta have it game.
Yeah.
I mean the numbers. I mean he's up to 203 strikeouts and 116 2/3, which is an SEC single season record that he broke.
Yeah, it's insane.
He's just been fantastic. His teammate is going to be, if he's not the first overall pick, it's going to be his teammate Dylan Cruz. But with that being said, not to take anything away from, Florida just won 24-4.
It's a little inflated.
I was at the beach yesterday during this game.
But they're a hell of a team.
Yeah, but I was at the beach yesterday, so I missed most of this game. And I remember looking at the score later, and I'm like, my eyes got big. I was like, 24-4. It was like in a College World Series final. 24-4, scoring 16 runs in their final four at bats here.
Skeens did definitely not pitch in that game.
No, he did not. And Florida's big guns. We mentioned Castiglione, but or Caglione rather. But Wyatt Langford, a guy who I think I'd read he was 3 for 16 so far in the College World Series. He just puts up a nice little 5 for 5 spot. So Florida's best players have
come.
Good
to have you back.
Yeah, Florida's best players have come to play now. And we got Caglione going on Monday. He's going to start Game 3. And this is what I've been told, that we have an Ohtani. We got an Ohtani situation here.
He's an Ohtani.
That's what I'm hearing.
I think that's a little much at this point, but
well, he does both things. I mean, they're going to him in a must-have-it game in a College World Series final, Game 3 tonight, pitching. And then you saw him hitting as well. What does he have, like 33 home runs this year, I read?
He can mash.
Yeah, he can do both. I mean, is this the American Ohtani from our backyard?
Maybe the Rays will try.
What are they putting in the freaking water, by the way, in Plant High School, by the way?
I don't know. But
for ball players. What's going on over there?
Listen, we've talked about this a lot. It's not just at Plant. It's all over Tampa Bay. Jason Romano is the agent of the Stars here.
I know, but so many of them
signs them all up.
So many of them are coming from Plant, though.
Yeah,
they're freaks of nature.
Yeah, Kyle Tucker, Pete Alonso, Gaglione. Are we saying his name right, Gaglione?
I sure hope so. Somebody in the comments, if I'm saying it wrong, please get me here.
I apologize. We should know better. That's my bad. But yeah, this is going to be fun to watch tonight. This is a big deal. And even being a diehard Seminole, I root for the Gators in situations.
I want the state of Florida to bring it home.
Absolutely, you want this.
Here we go. Caglione. We were putting our little spin on it. Caglione.
Yeah. All right.
Caglione.
All right. Well, go get him, brother. Go get him tonight. And I have a special. I don't want to say I hate LSU, but they grind on me a little bit. Of course, beating their ass last year in the season opener set up a great season for Florida State football, which we're going to do again this year in Orlando. So I have a distaste for LSU.
I think Brian Kelly and his whole my family. I think that was
right?
it for me. I think that did it for me.
Yeah, but he's doing a good job. He's doing a hell of a job.
I can't deny he's a hell of a coach.
Yeah.
Here's my thing though with Caglione. I'm going to like the MLB.com mock draft here for this year. Now maybe he's not. He
may not be eligible.
Maybe he's not eligible, but I'm assuming if he was eligible, he'd be somewhere. But he's like not even mocked in the first round.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go with the fact that he's not eligible. But like I just mentioned though, you talk about talent. The top 3 picks right here are almost consensus. Skeens or Cruz, and then this Wyatt Langford from Florida. So the 3 best players in college baseball
will be on display tonight.
Are on display tonight. And if you're the NCAA, I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better.
Yeah, these guys are making. These guys make probably more because I was told that they're making the LSU kid, the slugger, White.
And Tommy White as well.
Tommy White is making $1 million in NIL. So if he's making $1 million, Skeens is making $1 million. He came over from what, Air Force? Skeens did?
Skeens came from Air Force.
Yeah.
Tommy White came from NC State.
Yeah. So those guys are making more than Jose Siri.
Yeah.
They're making more than most of the guys on the Rays. Think about that for a second. These guys are making more money than most of the Rays. The best team in professional baseball. Those guys are making more money than they are. How about that? How about guys who are going to stay in college now to make money instead of go? Why would you go to the majors, go to the big leagues, and play minor league baseball for $35 a game, or whatever ridiculous thing they pay these minor leaguers? Why riding on buses to Peoria, and Glens Falls, right, Appleton? I mean, when you can play in these Taj Mahal stadiums of LSU and Florida, State, all these beautiful places, and make $1 million and be in college camp, flying all over the country, on a chartered plane to go play baseball in the SEC. Why would you do that when you can? Why would you go play minor league baseball? F that. Yeah, so that's good for. That's why I think you're seeing more really good players in college baseball to stick around and play. All right, let's take a break before we do our best and worst and all that stuff, because guys it's good stuff. We got it in the comments here. You can do it on Twitter as well. Biggest disappointment, biggest surprise, MVP, best moment, worst moment, Rays baseball first half. I got some good stuff for you. I got some, I will. So I'm like working on 2 hours sleep, 2 Celsius. I'm going to get some coffee in the break. Watch out. The second half of the show is going to get really good. Brought to you by the great folks at Extravaganza Productions. If you got a big charity event coming up, a small charity event, big meeting, small meeting, whatever it is, EPI can do it for you. Greatest audio visual. They've got a warehouse full of props to make your event really, really creative. Get your free creative consultation by just going to their website, extravaganzaproductions.com. Tell them JP sent you, and you'll get a free meeting with them. They'll tell you what they can do. Back in 3. Stay with us. All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up
on TrueBody and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Well, Fitz the mortgage guy did it again. A listener heard his ad, was going to another big bank, but called Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services of Tampa, and Fitz saved him $618 on his monthly payment. Are you kidding me? Folks, that's big money. Rates are going up, they're going down, they're going all over the place. Scott will shop your loan and save you lender fees and get the best rates. Email him, scott@amstampa.com, or call 813-294-7595. That's Fitz the mortgage guy. Lots of stuff going on right now, and these rates are going all over the place. You need somebody knowledgeable in the market that will work hard for you and get you the best deal. That's my man Scott. He's done 3 loans for me, done thousands of loans for local folks here, works with a lot of the coaches and players in the area. He's the guy. 813-294-7595, or go to scott@amstampa.com. Insurance coverage can be confusing and expensive. I mean, where do you start? Which companies can you count on to pay out fast and fair? Well, call the great folks at Italiano Insurance. It's a family-owned business. Jeff and Nat Italiano are carrying on the 60-year-plus tradition of giving amazing customer service and giving back to the community through their annual backpack drive for needy students and their support of the local pediatric cancer patients. But it's the customer service that sets them apart. They can shop all your insurance needs and save you big-time money. Don't hop on the internet and waste time looking at some bogus reviews. Talk to knowledgeable agents and not some voice-generated robot. These are confusing times for homeowners, and Italiano's team of experienced professionals can provide the right coverage for every situation: home, auto, business, life. It's Italiano for all the pieces of your life. Call 813-877-7799 or go to italianoinsurance.com. During COVID, over 1.7 million people were added to the Florida Medicaid rolls, but as of April 1st, 2023, most of these people may not be eligible for the Medicaid coverage and will lose their health plan. If you have been notified you are losing your coverage, don't freak out. It's very likely you can apply for a federal subsidy under the Affordable Care Act. Just call 877-652-0244. Our representatives will walk you through the whole process, get some basic information on your income, number of kids, and then they'll find a plan that best fits your needs. In fact, with the new laws, 90% of Americans qualify for reduced or free health care. You can select great plans like Florida Blue, that's my carrier, love them, paying $800 left after making the call. 877-652-0244. Our highly trained professionals know all the intricacies of the new laws. They will do all the work. You save tons of money. So if you're being dropped from Medicaid, fear not. Call 877-652-0244. Get real health insurance, free doctor visits, free blood work, no deductibles. 877-652-0244. Hey, JP here for Extravaganza Productions Incorporated, EPI. You've probably seen their purple logo at so many events that you've gone to. They are based in Tampa, and for over 33 years, they've been creating and producing conferences, meetings, and special events, the biggest to the smallest. Solid reputation of delivering the best audio-visual, sound, lighting, entertainment, video production, and decor on time and on budget. I've worked with them with so many big events. The Warrior Games, which was an Olympic-style event all over Tampa Bay, from McDill to the Convention Center to USF. They did it flawlessly, made it look big and fantastic. I've worked with them on small events as well, large and small meetings and conferences, sporting events, fundraisers. If you got a fundraiser, you don't know the logistical way to pull it off, they'll take care of everything. Entertainment events, branding events, grand openings, so much more. The folks at Extravaganza Productions are the most professional and the best. I've worked with them many times. They are fantastic. You can contact them through extravaganzaproductions.com or call 813-621-4700. Extravaganza Productions, they are awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen,
let's rock. This is FanStream Sports with JP.
All right, welcome back to the second hour of the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at the Golden Diamond Source. Julie and Steve Weintraub, they are absolute Tampa Bay treasures. We love them and all the philanthropy they did. They were up in Washington, D.C. not long ago, and the business and Steve got a small business award at the White House, and Julie got an award for her great philanthropy through the Hands Across the Bay Foundation and all the great work she does there for domestic abuse victims. Been over there to the Hands Across the Bay facility that they have there for these domestic abuse folks that come in with their kids, and they have a whole shopping area, except you don't have to pay anything for it, and they can take they can get clothes, they can get personal items, things that these kids don't have, and a lot of times these women have to leave in the middle of the night and can't take anything with them, right? They just got to get the hell out. And this is a great place for them to be able to come and do that. So not only is it a great place to shop for your jewelry and the only place to go for an engagement ring, but as we always say, keep it local here. And they do a great job giving back to the community, so why not shop there instead of some national company in the mall, right? Go to the Gold and Diamond Source. Great folks over there, and please tell them JP sent you. All right, let's get to you guys. We got some great stuff coming up here in the second half. Antonio Brown on the Tyreek Hill podcast. Can't wait to hear that.
That gibberish.
And we'll get to some football stuff as well. Our good friends at the Pewter Report, they had Dave Canales on. I was listening to that on the way.
Was great.
Oh, fantastic. Really, really
Love
good. You got
Dave.
to go listen to that. And we will get him on our podcast as well. I can't wait to have him on. What a breath of fresh air. I mean, it's just so good. So good. So we'll get to that. But as promised, let's get to our superlatives for the first half of the season.
Right.
What do you want to start with? You can lead this, my friend.
We'll start with the MVP. Let's start with the big one.
Yeah.
Now, this is tough.
It is.
This is very tough. Lots of candidates, and it's the interesting thing here is the Rays have arguably the AL Cy Young.
Yep.
And Shane McClanahan.
Yep.
Wander Franco, if you're a big WAR guy, is literally behind two guys, Ohtani and Acuna Jr.
They're pretty good, right?
Yeah, they're pretty damn good in WAR.
Yep.
But I'm not going to go with either of those guys. Because with Shane, I think I expected this. Now, it shouldn't disqualify him from being the MVP of the team. If you want to make an argument, that's fine. Same thing with Wander. I'm going to go with Yandy Diaz.
Excellent choice, my friend.
I think you can't go wrong with him, or you could throw Randy in there. I think it's one of those four probably. Mm-hmm. I think are the logical ones. But
by the way, the Yandy sleeve, fabulous.
Oh, Yandy sleeve, that needs to stay. That needs to stay.
That was a great shot.
4 for 4 in it.
Yes.
I'm giving it to Yandy because we've seen an uptick in power. Now, it's been a little bit since he's homered. He's been sitting on 12 home runs for a while, but let's be honest. Are the Rays paying him to hit home runs?
Nope.
No. And if he ends the season with 20,
they even paying him?
Not really. But if he ends the season with even 20 home runs, right, which is well below the pace that he was setting, I think if you would have told me at the beginning of the year, I'm going to get 20 home runs out of Yandy Diaz, sign me up. And he's going to hit, right now he's hitting .316. He's on a heater right now. The average is climbing. He leads this team in OPS. He's among the league leaders in OPS. He's a throwback player. I always love it when the strikeouts are low. He's only struck out 45 times. He sets the table there at the lineup. And when I think of MVP, most valuable. The word valuable gets lost in that a lot. And in the nights where Yandy Diaz has been out of the lineup and they've rested him, this lineup has not hummed the same way.
No, it just doesn't.
It just doesn't on most nights. There's been times where it has. You think of Friday, they put up 11 runs with that. I don't think he played in the Friday game because he was a little banged up from Thursday. But I've seen many times where he's not there in that leadoff spot, and I don't see anybody that can replicate what he does.
No,
I think when you talk about the offense, I mean, he's ready to hit right away, and he hits at the opposite field. You saw a lot of his hits. He's just spraying it all over the place right now. I applaud him for his defense as well. We usually don't go to that with Yandy Diaz, and I don't know what
he made a nice pick yesterday.
I don't know what the metrics are in Yandy Diaz's defense, to be honest with you, but just using my eyes, I think you've seen him turn himself into a really serviceable, above-average defender at the first base position.
I would agree.
I'm no longer worrying about it if a guy's skipping a ball over there. I think he's been invaluable to this team. He feels like he might be one of the big leaders in the clubhouse as well. So my MVP, I'm going to go with Yandy Diaz.
All right. I think this one, I'm not going to skip over the obvious in this one, okay? It's Shane McClanahan, and there's no question about it. To me, you have a guy that comes up, and he's consistently been out there. Of course, now he's going on the disabled list, or not on this, but he's going to get pushed
No,
back.
he seems like he's okay.
Yeah, he's going to get pushed back to Friday, right? He's making $737,000, which is just ridiculous. His market value is about 5 times that. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, how many starts has he made? I think he's made
16 starts.
Yeah, and what are we, 15-1?
I believe so.
In the starts that he's made.
15-2.
Yeah, 15-2.
Or 14-2.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And it's not only that; it's the way he handles his business. The fact that he's going deeper into games now, giving your bullpen a rest, and he's there every 5th day. He's been there every 5th day. He's an absolute bulldog. He sets the mentality in the room. I just love the way he goes about his business, and I think when you have a guy like that can stop all losing streaks, you can't have a more dominant person than a starting pitcher, and especially the way he comports himself, everything about him, I love. Just to juxtapose that with what Wander Franco is going through or doing, and it makes a difference. You want your leaders to be your best guys, your best players, and that's exactly what's going on. So I'm not gonna skip the obvious here. He's definitely my MVP. Sugar Shane.
Okay, we'll go to biggest surprise. We'll keep it positive before we get to disappointment. Biggest surprise, again, many to pick from here, right?
Yeah, no question. This is easy. $10 tickets.
This feels like Luke Raley. It feels like it has Luke Raley written all over it.
$10 tickets.
Oh, $10 tickets?
That's the biggest surprise.
That's
promoting of the baseball
The promoting
team.
of the baseball team.
And $10 tickets. Absolutely.
Okay.
That's the biggest surprise.
That's fair.
After 5-6 years of not promoting this team, they finally started promoting the team like every other team does in baseball. Like we've been telling you for 5 or 6 years, this team does not promote it. They don't want fans to come to the game because they want to get their revenue sharing dollars, and they're not going to spend money on more blah, 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 blah. They've taken a completely different tone, and look what's happened. Look what's happened. And if you don't think that's not part of the winning formula, these guys being able to come into their stadium every day and have their fans, not the other team's fans, cheering for them, you're bananas.
Yeah, the home record speaks for itself.
Thank you. The home record, the best in baseball by a wide margin. That to me is the biggest surprise. And I'll throw Jose Siri in there as well.
Yeah, you could throw Siri in there as well with his 14 home runs in 48 games, by the way. 14 home runs in 48 games.
Never saw that coming.
That's got to be one of the best rates in the league, right?
Yeah.
And the defense obviously gives you. But I still think I'm going to go with Luke Raley because
we were laughing at Luke Raley.
We were laughing at this guy.
The
idea that he was going to be the big bopper from the left-hand side, I thought was just so naive on this organization's part. Now, it wasn't even really their plan, and even Eric Neander admitted that.
Yeah.
I'd have to say, if you ask him, he'd probably tell you, yeah, we're a little surprised by what he's done. 12 home runs in 59 games. He's driven in 28. His defense in the outfield, I mean, I think that's the biggest surprising part is, and maybe shame on me for not paying attention more last year.
Ricky P. agrees with you.
Yeah, I just did not see the athleticism from this guy that I've seen this year. This guy, and we've talked about over and over, he's a tight end. He's a tight end out there. He can steal bases.
Paul Bunyan.
He gets on base. He's a threat to steal bases. He's making diving plays in the outfield. He's got a good arm. He's almost an all-around player. I mean, you look at the OPS. I mentioned Yandy's is 922. Well, so is Luke Raley's.
Yeah.
Right there next to him.
That's crazy.
So I wasn't expecting that from Luke Raley, but you could have thrown Josh Lowe in there. I could have thrown Harold in there just for the sake of the fact that he's got some pop added to his game. Could have thrown him in there. I could have thrown Zach Eflin in there. You think of the contract that he signed, and we all went, what? Right? When we signed that contract, remember the largest contract we've ever given out to a free agent?
Yeah.
And you're like, Zach Eflin?
Yeah.
Couldn't crack the Phillies rotation last year, and we're giving him $13 million?
And then when you read the advanced metrics, you were like, oh,
yeah.
Okay.
It all makes sense.
He's coming to you're going from the worst defense in baseball to the best defense in baseball, and you have a ground ball rate like that.
Yep.
And an efficiency rate and all that. I'm like, yeah, he's going to be a home run here in Tampa Bay, and he was.
And another honorable mention, we don't talk about him a lot, but I'm going to throw Kevin Kelly in there.
Yes.
He's actually he's thrown more innings than any Rays reliever this season.
Is that right?
He has
Coach Bowden used to say, "Is that right?"
Yeah, 35 and
Is that
35 and 2/3. You've seen Kevin Kelly this year in 32 appearances, which leads all Rays relievers. 3.03 ERA. He's one of the best ground ball. Seems like when they really need a ground ball, he's able to get it.
Yep.
He's come up in big moments time and time again. He's got the trust. I mean, yes, he was the first guy out of the bullpen yesterday. 1-1 game.
Yep.
And who was the first guy coming out? Kevin Kelly.
Yep.
And Kevin Cash has confidence. So honorable mention, Kevin Kelly there. He's been a delight out of Durham.
Yep, absolutely. Love that.
All right, biggest disappointment. This one's a little harder to forecast a little bit because we've been humming.
Mm-hmm.
I got to be honest. The one guy sticks out is Brandon Lau.
He's the obvious choice.
It sticks out.
Mm-hmm.
50 games, he's hitting 205. The OPS is 696. On this roster, that's only ahead of Christian Bethancourt and Francisco Mejia. So you're catching tandems, which, you know, we don't really expect a lot of production from the hitting perspective from these catchers.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's got to be Brandon Lau. And Brandon Lau, I'm hoping he can come back from this and be a regular contributor for this team because when he's at his best, there's no doubt about it. He's one of the best hitters and important guys in this lineup.
Mm-hmm.
But through what I've seen so far, it's hard not to say that Brandon Lau has been the biggest disappointment because it's hard to find anybody else that I really didn't expect. I expected more out of that hasn't given me that this year.
This is I'm trying to get the individual stats here. But I would say my biggest disappointment is Glasnow, not having him. I was so looking forward to him pitching from the very beginning. And I would throw in Springs and Rasmussen. I mean, they're...
So health. You'll go with health.
Well, just can you imagine? Like, look how this is the best team in baseball. Can you imagine what they would be like if they had those guys? Are you kidding me? I mean... It's unbelievable.
You wouldn't have Taj right now.
Well, you could still have him.
You wouldn't be in the rotation.
Yeah, might be in the bullpen. I mean, just can you imagine where they have the best? I think they still have the best ERA, second best ERA in baseball, right behind the Astros, at 3.59. But you imagine, like Springs and Rasmussen were killing people.
Right.
They were killing people. I don't have their direct numbers. I tried to look it up, but they give me
Rasmussen had the 2.62 ERA.
2.62.
And Springs was at 0.56 in his 16 innings that he got in.
Think about that. Think about if those guys. Now he wasn't going to continue that, but my God, how dominant could this team have been?
Think how many one-run games they probably would have won. I mean, that's the scary part. I mean, they're 54 and 27 or something like that.
But if those two guys stayed healthy, the Rays would obliterate.
They'd probably have 60
the
wins.
Major League record for wins.
They'd have 60 wins,
which
right
is
now.
Seattle 116, I believe. They would obliterate it.
They'd be on pace for it.
Yeah, think about that. So that's my biggest disappointment.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, best moment of the season. Again,
this is easy.
many to pick from here.
This was easy. You were there for it. When I shook Stu's hand and said, "Oh, thanks for the $10 tickets."
That was my hell froze over moment right there, actually. That's the hell froze over moment of the season. Yeah, that I'm still kicking myself that I was so, in the moment, what is going on here?
That look on his face.
That I didn't think to get my phone out and capture it.
He might have sharded. I don't know. That look on his face when I grabbed his hand and shook his hand and said, "Thank you for the $10 tickets. About time." Place looks great. All filled up.
I know, and you got a good response from him in return.
Yeah,
that might be the biggest.
Thank you.
The best moment.
Yeah, that was
some reconciliation, if you want to say.
I don't know if it was that, but that was the best. But other great moments had to be Wander's barehanded catch was just freaking ridiculous. That was fantastic. What was the other one that I had? Oh, Brandon Lau going on the injured list.
Oh my goodness! Come on! That's a little. That's
once
a
again.
belt.
Once again, I say what you're thinking, and that's why you watch the show.
Not what I was thinking. Not what I was thinking.
I say what no one else is willing to say, and there you go. And you all agree with me. No, we don't wish injuries on anybody. I'm just merely I'm over it. I'm just over it.
I know you are.
I'm sitting at watching him, and part of this goes on Cash in the organization. And I always, when I dump on him, you can trust me. Brandon Lau is going to come back and hit 30 home runs in the second half. But watching them continue to put him in the 3 and 4 hole just because we've won a lot of games and we're just trying to rehab. It's like, no.
Yeah. We've seen a lot of big walk-offs. Brandon Lau earlier in the year against Chicago was a big one.
That was a great one.
Jose Siri hitting a 473-foot home run was pretty cool. Randy Arozarena on the inaugural Randyland night going
hitting
yard.
the home run that was crazy.
Was great.
That was my best on-field moment without question.
My best overall moment was the game that we were at with Stu, and that was when we were 12-0. And that was we got the 13-0 start.
Yeah.
And we were at that game, and it was a Thursday during the day.
Packed house.
During the school year. We were still in the school year.
Yeah.
And we looked around. I remember we were there. We looked around, and we went, holy crap.
Wow.
This place is full.
Yeah, because of $10 tickets.
22,000 people on a Thursday night, on a Thursday day game during the school year against the Red Sox, chasing history. And remember,
how cool was that?
I will never forget the roar of the crowd when the Rays got down, and it looked like one of those games where it was like, oh, crap, the bats have gone quiet today. And then it might have been the 4th or 5th inning of that game where they came alive, and the Manny Margot bunt with the bases loaded.
Yes.
And then the Harold liner down the line to get the runs home to take the lead.
They scored like 5, 6 in the inning?
Real quick, they scored 6 runs, I believe, in that inning. I just have not heard the Trop that loud.
It was banging.
Especially during a regular season game.
Yeah.
I think that was my moment of the year, was just being in that atmosphere from the Rays. Right? But there's many to pick from. This has been a magical start.
Yes.
Worst moment of the year, maybe a little bit harder to pinpoint.
Down 6-0 or up 6-0 on the Yankees, having the Yankees come back and beat us. Because I think we'd won the first game of the series, and I think that would have given us a sweep if we'd won that game. I would just, I freaking hate the Yankees. Yankees. And let them come back and win that game. That sucked.
Yeah.
And then the other one would be last Thursday, where we lost to the freaking Royals. McClanahan got taken out.
Wander, the whole thing there.
Wander was, this is a bad day.
That might have been the worst day of the year. So you could say that one. Another one that comes to mind, I think of the loss that stung the most. I think it's got to be up there in Queens against the Mets. When the Rays took the lead there, and then
Alonso came back and hit the bomb. Yeah,
the Pete Alonso bomb, which we all felt was coming.
Yeah,
right.
It was so inevitable.
Fairbanks pitching in the cold and all that kind of stuff. I think that might have been the loss that hurt me the most this year. So I think I'm going to go with that one. If you're looking for a worst loss of the year, maybe that one applies to it. But again, it's harder to pick worst moments of the year because there's been so much good that's outweighed this. But there you go. There's our superlatives. 81. We're already halfway through, if you can believe it.
How about that?
We're halfway through the year. This team's going to put out probably 4 All-Stars, if I had to imagine, minimum, probably. I don't know if any of them are going to be fan voted in, unfortunately, because fan voting's a joke.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. So there you go. You're Rays. You're number 1 team in baseball for 81 games.
Well done there. Well done. Intern Nick, you want to jump in here at all? Do you have anything for us? No, you're good. All right. Bucks Live says, hate this part of year. No Bucks news. You're wrong. You're wrong. I don't necessarily call it news, but we're going to discuss. Dave Canales and this Bucks offense a little bit. Our good friends at Pewter Report, Scott Reynolds and J.C. Allen had Dave on. Listen to it this morning. Highly recommend you go find that. Not right now. No, wait till our show is over, and then you can go listen to it. Because I'm going to give you my take on what they said. And, we'll have some fun talking about the Bucks. I am so excited. I'm so excited about this Bucks team. I'm not sitting here saying it's not like, Tom Brady level excitement, but it's up there. So quick break. We'll come back on the other side. We'll talk a little Buccaneers football. We'll get into some other football talk as well. We got some audio from Antonio Brown. Come on, we got to play it. Just, I know we're taking the bait on this. I know we are, but it's gold. It's just gold to just make fun of this complete bozo. So quick break. We'll be back. We're brought to you by American Mortgage Services. My good friend Scott Fitzgerald over there. I know rates are going up. They're going down. They're all over the place, actually. But you want to get the best rate and the best fees or non-fees, you got to go to American Mortgage Services. They've got a lot of different creative products that will help you get through your purchase of a home or a refinance. Remember, money is still way cheaper than what you're paying on your credit card, so a refinance certainly does make sense. So look at that as well. and they can get that done for you. The best in the business. American Mortgage Services. Contact Scott at amstampa.com. Scott at amstampa.com. Back in 3. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group. Have you been injured in an accident, in an auto accident, truck accident, motorcycle accident, at work, or at a place of business? Well, call the Jeeves Law Group and get the personal attention that you deserve. I made the mistake many, many years ago with going with one of the bigger law firms, the national law firms. And let me tell you, getting a call back from those folks was next to impossible. Weeks and weeks would go by. Never get a call back. That doesn't happen with the Jeeves Law Group. Personal attention is what they're all about. When you call the Jeeves Law Group, you will be part of the family. They will represent you in a vigorous and aggressive way against the insurance companies. These larger companies will promise bigger settlements, but it's the Jeeves Law Group that will get you the best results. If you're tired of dealing with these bigger law firms, check out the Jeeves Law Group. Go to JeevesLawGroup.com, tell them JP sent you, get a free consultation. It's the Jeeves Law Group. Scott Jeeves has been representing clients in the Tampa Bay area for over 25 years. Give them a call. It's a free call, 727-894-2929, 727-894-2929, or go to JeevesLawGroup.com. Ladies and gentlemen, are you looking to lose weight or just lean up for bathing suit season where there are so many diets and chiropractors and weight loss clinics out there? You don't know where to start, right? We'll start at Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Chris Lugo, PA, and his professional staff will devise a personal plan for you that gets results and will help you keep the weight off. Everybody metabolizes food and supplements differently. Many of these other approaches are designed for the masses. So how's that going to work for you specifically? It's not. Chris will spend one-on-one time with you to find out what works best for you so the weight comes off safely without the use of harmful drugs and side effects. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. Insurance coverage can be confusing and expensive. I mean, where do you start? Which companies can you count on to pay out fast and fair? Well, call the great folks at Italiano Insurance. It's a family-owned business. Jeff and Nat Italiano are carrying on the 60-year-plus tradition of giving amazing customer service and giving back to the community through their annual backpack drive for needy students and their support of the local pediatric cancer patients. But it's the customer service that sets them apart. They can shop all your insurance needs and save you big-time money. Don't hop on the internet and waste time looking at some bogus reviews. Talk to knowledgeable agents and not some voice-generated robot. These are confusing times for homeowners, and Italiano's team of experienced professionals can provide the right coverage for every situation: home, auto, business, life. It's Italiano for all the pieces of your life. Call 813-877-7799 or go to ItalianoInsurance.com. Hey guys, are you experiencing those feelings of getting older, lower sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, or you just don't feel like you had the vitality you once had? It's a chronic problem here in the United States. You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well, so do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Look, testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability, not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Folks, I've been on testosterone therapy for over 6 years, and it is a life changer. You will feel and look better than you did 10 years ago. Give them a call at 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. Hey, JP here for Extravaganza Productions Incorporated, EPI. You've probably seen their purple logo at so many events that you've gone to. They are based in Tampa. And for over 33 years, they've been creating and producing conferences, meetings, and special events, the biggest to the smallest. Solid reputation of delivering the best audio-visual, sound, lighting, entertainment, video production, and decor,
on time and on budget. I've worked with them with so many big events. The Warrior Games, which was an Olympic-style event all over Tampa Bay, from McDill to the Convention Center to USF. They did it flawlessly, made it look big and fantastic. I've worked with them on small events as well, large and small meetings and conferences, sporting events, fundraisers. If you got a fundraiser, you don't know the logistical way to pull it off, they'll take care of everything. Entertainment events, branding events, grand openings, so much more. The folks at Extravaganza Productions are the most professional and the best. I've worked with them many times. They are fantastic. You can contact them through extravaganzaproductions.com or call 813-621-4700. Extravaganza Productions, they are awesome. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group. Have you been injured in an accident, in an auto accident, truck accident, motorcycle accident, at work, or at a place of business? Well, call the Jeeves Law Group and get the personal attention that you deserve. I made the mistake many, many years ago with going with one of the bigger law firms, the national law firms. And let me tell you, getting a call back from those folks was next to impossible. Weeks and weeks would go by, never get a call back. That doesn't happen with the Jeeves Law Group. Personal attention is what they're all about. When you call the Jeeves Law Group, you will be part of the family. They will represent you in a vigorous and aggressive way against the insurance companies. These larger companies will promise bigger settlements, but it's the Jeeves Law Group that will get you the best results. If you're tired of dealing with these bigger law firms, check out the Jeeves Law Group. Go to jeeveslawgroup.com, tell them JP sent you, get a free consultation. It's the Jeeves Law Group. Scott Jeeves has been representing clients in the Tampa Bay area for over 25 years. Give them a call. It's a free call, 727-894-2929, 727-894-2929, or go to jeeveslawgroup.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here on this Magic Monday. Why not? Why not be a Magic Monday, right? Brought to you by the great folks at Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Chris Lugo was on with us the other day. I went to have my primary care visit with him and get my blood work done, getting everything straightened out. You know, when you're almost 50 years old, 60 years old, you got there's a lot of issues out there. But he spent an hour and 15 minutes with me talking through all my issues. We got a plan for everything in place. Now we're going to execute the plan and then get back to full and complete health. I'm pretty healthy as it is, but you know, I want to lean up. I want to probably drop about 20 pounds. And that's going to help out my overall health. So he gave me a personalized diet plan. We went over exercise. We went over everything. So if you want that type of primary care, and by the way, it's concierge medicine. You can use your insurance that you have to get your lab work, and then when he refers you to specialists and all this, yeah, that's where you use your insurance. But you go to him to have your overall health plan done, right? $175 for the first visit. You get over an hour with him, and he'll go over everything. And when you get your blood work back, he'll go over everything, what you should eat, what you should not be eating. You have a personalized plan for everything. And that's what you just don't get at these other factories that are, you know, all these practices being bought up by hospitals. And, you know, they just don't have the time to spend it. They got to get you in and get you out to make the numbers work. But that's not the way he does it over there at Bay Area Modern Medical Center. So if you're looking for a new primary care, someone to direct your overall health, and I think it's a great way to do it, whether you have insurance or not, and you spend the $175 and you get all that expertise in nutrition, exercise, all that stuff. So, and he thinks out of the box, and that's what I love about Chris. Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Just go right online. You can make an appointment there. Go on in. I have lots of friends that have gone to see him, and everybody loves it. So check it out. All right, we're going to get to some Bucks talk here, but I want to go over just to get you guys to vote on our polls, and I'll get a little conversation going. We'll talk about it today and tomorrow. So we have a couple of good polls out. Number one, given his checkered past, would you be in favor of the Rays acquiring Aroldis Chapman from the Royals? 76% saying hell yes. So go vote on that one. You can go to the JP Peterson Show. Please follow the show account because we're going to do a lot more on the show account, so you don't want to miss out. If you're following me or following Nick, just make sure you follow the show account as well. This one, I voted in the minority. Over the weekend, Wander Franco returned to the lineup after being benched for his behavior. Do you think this will be the end of Wander's issues this season? 78% say yes. 22% say no. I voted no.
I don't think it's going to be the end. Based on him not wearing the Randy T-shirt after the exile, I think it's going to, it's going to take a while for him to mature. It's not going to happen overnight. A 2-game benching is not going to do it, but let's hope it all moves in the right direction. Certainly he had a good comeback. This one, the Angels defeated the Rockies 25-1. UF Baseball defeated LSU 24-4 over the weekend. Which team is the worst to see get blown out? Bucks, Rays, or Lightning? I went with the Buccaneers. I hate watching. You look forward to the game so much, all week long. And then when you get blown out, it's just like, ugh. It's such an empty feeling. Like in baseball, it's like you get blown out, you come back the next day.
Right.
Hockey's kind of the same way. You're going to play 2 nights later anyway, so it's not that big a deal. But football, watching the Bucks get blown out like the freaking playoff game, ugh.
It ruins my –
It's awful.
because you get 17 of them a year, right?
Yeah.
Mostly when you're rooting for this franchise, at least. And it ruins my Sunday.
Yeah.
It really ruins my
your
Sunday.
week.
It ruins my week.
Yeah.
I hate it. And we got to come on this show, and we got to rip him to shreds on Monday,
Awful.
which, we have to do. We got to keep it real.
Right.
But
that's what we do.
And what's the worst Bucks blowout you can think of? Mine still goes back to the 2014 Thursday night game against the Falcons. Yeah. I don't think anything could top.
Awful.
I don't think anything could top that feeling.
Guys just weren't even they didn't care. They were just making businesses, just letting guys walk into the end zone. It was awful, and that was a bad. Was that a good Falcons team or a bad? I think it was.
It was probably one of those solid, just middle of the road Falcon teams that we always had with Matt Ryan.
It was awful. Awful.
Julio Jones doing whatever he wants. Mohamed Sanu throwing touchdowns down the field.
It was awful. Yeah. That Dallas game, that playoff game was awful too. It was terrible.
That was bad. The 49ers game this year, Brock Purdy just having his way
my God.
with the Bucks.
That was sobering. That was sobering. It was nice to win my bet that day because I pounded the 49ers on that one. Here's another one. Given his checkered past, would you be in favor of the Rays acquiring Aroldis Chapman from the Royals? The beginning of the season, I was hell no, but I voted hell yes. And that's winning 76% to 24%. Hell yeah. I think I'm on the Chapman train now. I feel dirty doing it, though. I feel bad.
Sports are all dirty now, so.
It is. It's like taking Saudi money.
You embrace the dirty.
Just win, baby.
Just win, baby.
Just win, baby. That's where we're at right now, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's talk some Buccaneers, shall we? So our good friends at the Pewter Report had Canales on their show. And, man, listening to Canales is like talking to your buddy at the bar, except he's not drinking. He's going to be having a Shirley Temple. And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. Alcohol is a killer in many ways. And he just so candid about the offense. He really explains everything. He was talking about play action passing and how it's kind of like a heavyweight fight. Calling games, his philosophy to calling games is kind of like a heavyweight fight. It's like jab, 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 body punch, run, jab, jab, flats. And talking about, one of the things you run bootlegs for is to tire out the defense. That's kind of like the bootlegs are kind of like moving around the ring, jab, 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 because you're tiring out your opponents, your defense. And, they have to flow one way, and then they have to stop and run back the other way. Even if it's a 2 or 3 yard gain, it starts to take a toll on the defense. And I never really thought of it that way. He says, so you want to jab, 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 and then the play action pass is the haymaker. Right? You get them creeping up, and they're coming in. They're looking for a haymaker, right? And then you duck it, and then you throw the haymaker. Get everybody in, fake the handoff, over the top, Russell Wilson, to DK or Tyler. And, that's – he said you get 3 to 5 of those a game, and you want to be able to hit, at least 2 to 3 of them. And that's a difference in the game. I was like, that's a great explanation. I've never heard offensive play calling use that metaphor. I thought it was really cool. I liked it.
Yeah, and he brought up some good examples of the Russell Wilson kind of model.
Yeah.
Too, where all of a sudden in the game, and you've seen this many times when he was there in Seattle and really had it rolling. He was the best deep ball thrower at that time.
Yeah.
Throwing to DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, and he would just hit you out of nowhere. I just love look at the thorough answer you got there.
Yeah.
I had the whole quote pulled up right here. You have to almost separate it in 4 separate graphs.
Right.
When you're writing an article. because he just gave you so much information. Like, how many coaches go on a show and take up a whole hour worth of time? A whole hour.
Yeah, not many. And he was in the process of moving, too.
In process of moving.
Yeah.
Trouble finding the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Did the whole show from his kitchen on his phone. That's commitment right there. That's my OC.
And it's not this stilted, like, coach speak.
No. He kind of pulls back the curtain enough
Yeah.
for you to, like, okay,
Yeah.
I haven't seen what his offense looks like, but I have a really good idea of what I'm going to see. And, he complimented Kyle Trask, too, about his mobility. Like, he was surprised by how good he is, like, in the boot game and how athletic he looks in that. And I think that was pretty much a lot of our bigger questions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Around Kyle Trask was the mobility factor. And it sounds like, at least this year, he's taken a big leap in that. And let's see if that helps him in this quarterback competition. I think we all would assume this is still Baker's job. But it's definitely encouraging to read that. And even, like, the little things, like even the flat. And he's like, a lot of people see, like, whenever you do the little bootleg and you got a guy in the flat that's 2 yards down the field, and people are like, well, why would you throw that? It's just a 2-yard game. But it's like you got to divert everybody else on the defense. Has got to now pay attention.
It's a jab.
And who knows? That could turn into an 8-9 game. And there you go. You take
Plus
that.
They're running back and forth. And the misdirection starts putting guys on their heels, which is something we never saw last year in that offense. And speaking of Baker, he talked a lot about Baker in terms of his readiness to play. And he said one of the things that would be really obvious to Bucs fans and everybody else watching from the outside is that Baker's got way more game time experience. So you can see comfort level that he has in the huddle with the guys. There's some cool leadership stuff coming out of him. His ability to do that, he's done it for so long. Then he's got some familiarity in the system coming from L.A., so some of that was pretty fluid, which is cool. He also said one of the things that jumped out right away is his ability to throw the ball down the field to anybody, putting the ball in catchable places down the field. I was like, oh, this is cool. I'm used to this. Whether it was Russell Wilson or Geno, I'm used to this. Guys being able to launch it. I think one of the things that Baker has also brought is that ability to know when to fold them and say, this is not the coverage for this play. Check it down quick, get it out, next play. That's the experience level, and this is why we all believe Baker's going to get the job, right? Ty Bowles has to win games. Canales has to win games. It's not that Trask is a bad football player. It's just that he's just not to the level of Baker. And you don't want, there's always going to be on-the-job training in football. You can't, very few quarterbacks jump into the league and are an immediate success. There's a lot of on-the-job training, and that's what it's going to be with Kyle Trask. Some coaches just don't have time for that. But Trask may get his shot by virtue of injury. So I think a lot of people that are writing him off just because he's not going to be the starter right away, I think you're going to see him play and start some games this year, right? Because Baker plays with, let's be honest, he plays with reckless abandon.
Most picks since 2018.
Yeah. He turns the ball over, and he plays with reckless abandon. So there's a chance, he got hurt. He dislocated his shoulder, his non-throwing shoulder, played with it. So I think Kyle Trask is going to get his shot. So don't think it's just a one-man show. It's going to be both. I also liked him talking about some of the personnel. And he said what I've been saying a lot is that this O-line can be as good as any O-line that he had in Seattle over 12 years. Now I know they've had, they've gotten a bad rap for some of their offensive lines, but they won a Super Bowl. I mean, let's not be crazy here. So they've had some good ones, some bad ones. But he said this particular line has a chance to be one of the best in football. Now, I know coming from the offensive coordinator, that shouldn't be taken as gospel. Obviously, he's not super objective, but you could just tell the way he talked about it. And I think the same thing. It's not just who these guys are; it's what they're going to be doing, which is going to be markedly different from what they did last year, and it's going to help the offensive linemen a lot. So I thought that was interesting. He talked about the running backs, and he just said, I'm really impressed with this room. And think about some of the running backs that they've had in Seattle and how good that they've been. And they haven't all been, in fact, most of them have not been top picks, right? So he loves the versatility he sees in Rashad White. Says he's just dripping with talent. Can't wait to see what he does on a game-to-game basis. He loves Keyshawn Vaughn. Says he's really been excited about the way. He was certain different running plays call for different style of running, right? If you got two guys pulling, you got to kind of wait till that second guy pulls to reveal where the hole's going to be. Outside zones have a certain way that you run them. There's just different ways of running, and he's like, he can do it all. He can run patiently. He can hit. He can hammer the hole. He can bust outside. He can do it all. He can catch the football down the field and transition into running very quickly. He talked about Chase Edmonds as well, how good that he's played. He's really showed some pop. So I was very interested to hear him talk about the running backs as well. And then went to some of the young receivers, talked a lot about Devin Tompkins, Trey Palmer, even Russell Gage. And then, he just talked about Godwin and Evans in the same way he talked about DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. All right. It's just, the catch radius of Mike Evans is just unmatched, and both of them can make the combat catches, especially Chris Godwin. And he understands that these two guys are going to be the focal point. Now, it doesn't mean they get every target, right? Doesn't mean they get every target, but they are going to be the focal points of this offense. And I think that's obvious, but it wasn't so obvious last year, was it?
No, that's what I'm going to say. It sounds like we're not going to get to halfway through the season. We're going to be having discussions of, man, why can't we get Mike Evans the ball? Right? When we're in the red zone, why aren't we drawing up plays to get Mike Evans the ball in the red zone where he's so lethal at and one of the best in the league at?
Don't think that's going to be an issue.
I don't think that's going to be an issue. But again, it's all talk though, right? It's all talk at the end of the day, but as we've said multiple times, he just has a way of making you believe that he is like the second coming or something of when it comes to like these young hotshot offensive coordinators that are really taking over the league right now. I mean, for the Bucs' sake, I really hope that they have it in Dave Canales, because it's not out of the question if he goes out there this year and let's say the Bucs win like 7-8 games, let's put it at that, but the offense takes like super strides and he wins over the organization and Jason Licht and Glazers, it's not out of the question that Todd Bowles' time could be up and they say, all right, well, let's pass it over to Dave. Here's our now young hotshot head coach. It's not out of the question that could happen in 1 year.
No, I see him as a future head coach. He's just got a charisma about him and a likability and a knowledge. That dude, when you talk to people and you can just tell they're super smart and they really know what they're talking about and they just have a different level understanding about certain things than you do. That's him. That's 100% him. And, I love it. And, again, this is not disparaging Todd Bowles. Todd is, his record is what it is, and I think Todd is a tremendous defensive coordinator. We know how I feel about him as a head coach. He just hasn't had much success at it, and he's gotten a lot of opportunity. And there are certain people that I think that have traits to be head coaches and certain people that maybe don't, And I know I hate saying that about Todd. It's just my gut feeling. I think he's a better coordinator than he is a head coach, and I don't know squat about Dave Canales. I just think from what I've seen, I'm super impressed with him. He seems to be very much like a Sean McVay. I mean, I hate to say that, but it actually seems more like a cross between McVay and Pete Carroll. The easy demeanor of Pete Carroll, right? That easy, likable demeanor of Pete Carroll, but the intensity and energy level of Sean McVay. And, who knows? He may not be able to even call games. Who knows? We'll see. But those are just my initial reactions.
Yeah, good stuff there. I know you wanted to get to the should we play the AB audio?
Yeah, I want to play it.
Should we get to it?
I want to play
it. I hate to, rehash old things, but listen. Remember we talked about Aroldis Chapman?
It's summer. Let's take the bait.
Talked about Aroldis Chapman and bringing volatile personalities into your locker room, and the Bucs certainly did that, and it worked out for, about a year when it needed to.
Mm-hmm.
And Antonio Brown, they don't win the Super Bowl, I don't think, without his addition to that offense.
I agree.
I think that's fair.
I agree.
But here he was over the weekend on the Cheetah podcast, Tyreek Hill, who was in his own, again, I guess birds of a feather flock together.
Well, yeah, Tyreek's a little out there, but he's certainly not in AB land.
No, but he ain't perfect.
No,
let's put it like that.
No, he's had some issues.
But let's try to make out what Antonio Brown was saying here, because it's a little difficult. Where he feels like it went wrong. That meltdown with the Jets game.
we about to play the Jets, and this week I'm really hurt. Like, so I'm like taking pictures to the coach, like, Coach, man, are we gonna win the Super Bowl, man? I think I need to just take these last 2 weeks, at least like recover up so I could give you my best when we to the time that mean the most. So we here to win the Super Bowl. So the coach like, hey man, we ain't resting. So Tom called me like, yo, this week, man, the Jets, man, they sweet, man. I'm gonna hit you with like 10 to 12. So he done gassed me up. So you know me, that's all I needed to hear. Like, yo, you gonna throw me the ball? This like me saying like I got a new crib, like
on me.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I'm saying? He done geeked me up. So I'm like, yo, I'm already really fucked up. So I'm like, but you know, as a player, like if you fucked up and your team around you supporting you, you might suck it up for the team.
Oh, yeah,
like,
you
know
gonna
what?
suck it up for the fellas.
game. So it's like, yo, Tom Brady done hit me up like, yo, this a big week. So I'm like, fuck it. I know my shit fucked up, but it's like, yo, if you gonna fuck with me like that, why not?
So bad.
You know what I'm saying? So I done dressed up, suited up. I done got there. And I already know they been faking me the whole time I was suspended. Like I just went for 100 yards and they guys was hurt. So I know they just trying to make it seem like, man, they just keep them going for what we could get out of them. So I already know they treated me like
that's the plan.
Of course, like they treated me like I'm a little dog. So it's like, so these guys actually charging me to work with me, and it's like the team actually paid this guy to like work with the players. So I'm paying him on top of the payment from this, and he not even going out his way. Then before the game, Tom, my guy, one of the mutual friends with me and Tom, like, yo, go see him before the game, man. He's gonna work with you. You know how you was before the game, bro. You ain't really trying to even give nobody your energy.
I ain't trying to do nothing.
Imagine. So now I'm going to work with him. He's just like hugging me like he can't.
Yeah.
This guy on my body with bad energy, like he don't want to help me. Like, what the fuck you hugging me for, bro?
On me, bro. I got a game to play, money.
These guys don't even care. So now I come playing the game, I'm hurt. Like I'm in my zone, I'm super hurt. And it's like, yo, I might hurt myself more. And they not really trying to put me in a good position. Like, I'm not out here to hurt myself. I'm out here to help you guys win. I mean, getting the ball, help you move the chains, get in the zone. So right now, we at a different time right now. You guys not trying to see none of that. You guys is mixing me with, like, he don't want to work with me. I'm paying him. You don't want to throw me the ball, and you making me like I'm crazy. So it's like, I'm crazy? Fuck all you motherfuckers. I'm out of here.
Yeah, you win. You win. You win. And when's the last time you caught a pass in the NFL? That was it. That's such revisionist history bullshit right there. It's such revisionist bullshit is what that is. Let me tell you what was really going on. Okay, what we know was, first of all, go look at the tape. The dude wasn't hurt. He wasn't hurt. He was cutting on a dime. He was cutting on a dime. And he was in the locker room at halftime, bitching and moaning about not getting the ball. And the previous few weeks, he'd started his old crap around One Buck Place. Everybody knew it, what he was doing. He wasn't doing the right stuff, wasn't showing up, wasn't on time for meetings. He was going back to the old AB. Remember the text we saw from Brady? Come on, man. I supported you. You got to get back in there, do the right things. This was going on for weeks before this. This.
He was getting a little bit.
This was all calculated. He even told the girl that he had over in his room he was going to do it.
Yeah.
It was all pre-planned.
Wait, what was that toilet?
That is just complete revisionist. Yes. Complete revisionist bull crap. And anybody who believes that, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. This whole thing was planned. He was leaving the team. He thought he could go get a contract somewhere else. He thought he was it. And he wanted a contract extension. Remember that part? He wanted him to get them contract extension before he would play. It had nothing to do with his ankle. That's all BS. Go look at the tape.
And when he's talking about that guy that was all over him, and you're supposed to help me, like I'm like, is he talking about the Bucs trainer? Was he talking about Guerrero? Like,
I think he was talking about Guerrero, but I'm not sure. And not that it's. I think it's irrelevant anyway because none of that is true. None of that is true.
But then then
Brady, Brady had the opportunity to support Bruce Arians in his decision to kick him off the sideline, and he didn't do it. And then we see the text messages from Brady from weeks and weeks earlier trying to get AB to get back to, on the straight and narrow. I mean, this was all pre-planned. It was all boiling. It was all boiling over. Everybody saw it coming, even in halftime. And he got 7 or 8 targets in the first half, as much as anybody on the team.
He had more targets than anybody, I think.
And he was still bitching about not getting the ball. He just reverted back to old AB and did what he was going to do because he was tired of he wanted more money. They weren't going to give it to him until after the season, and that's what he did. So that's all bull crap. Everything he's saying, they're all like,
Yeah, that's the thing.
You're
It's
full of
like
shit.
that's the thing. It's like Tyreek Hill's like gassing him up there. Like,
Of
yeah, man, I
course.
understand. Like, this guy to me, I've just never seen an athlete like this before. I truly have not. It's like it seems like he has no regret over how that situation unfolded. He continues to point the finger at the Bucs and this and that.
Everybody else.
And Tom
It's
Brady.
everybody
It's
else's
Tom
fault.
Brady's fault.
Oh,
This is the
yeah.
first. I've never heard somebody go after Tom Brady before and say
Well,
like
he's
he
gone
was
after him many times already.
He just
The
continues.
man who supported you more than anybody when nobody else would. You would have burned that bridge.
He gifted you a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah.
And now he needed you to do it. Don't get me wrong here, but he advocated to bring you in.
Yeah.
And you turned a blind eye on this organization. You turned it on Tom Brady. You turned it on your career, frankly. And you messed up what I think. I mean, you could talk about the best receivers in the history of football. And, I wasn't there for the Jerry Rice days. I missed out on Randy Moss's prime. In my time of watching football, Antonio Brown, I'll tell you, was the best receiver I ever saw.
When he was right, he was as good as it gets.
He was the best receiver I ever saw.
Yeah.
You could probably kiss the Hall of Fame goodbye. There's just no way there.
No.
He definitely has the credentials for it, but he's not getting in.
No.
Just no remorse for anything.
None.
Just typical.
Everybody else's fault, not his.
It's
None
typical.
his fault.
The story to me, I feel like he's tried to tell this story multiple times, and every time I come around and I go, I feel like it's changed. The story changes.
No, it always changes.
It feels like a little bit in these interviews, and I don't know. I know we're taking the bait and all that, but I'm done.
Anybody who's buying that crap, you have no idea what was going on.
I know we love to have this culture where it's like, well, we shouldn't give up on anybody, and we shouldn't. No, this guy to me is
He's done it to himself.
This guy is
he's gotten 10 chances.
Exactly. He's past the point of he needs to help himself.
Oh
He doesn't want to. Nobody else should. I mean, the whole thing that's going on with the what is it? The team that he owned there in the AFL, the Albany Empire. He got them kicked out of the league for being an idiot.
Everything he touches goes to shit. Everything. I mean, I often say it's the greatest career of all time, the GOAT. I mean, look at all the records, but the most unbelievable thing he ever did in his career was to get AB to sign up for a year and just stay on the straight and narrow. That was a miracle, Tom. To get him to be able to do it, may have cost you your marriage.
But to say Tom Brady is responsible for your exit, it's just
it's
crazy to me.
Yeah, unbelievable.
I actually have no idea.
And anybody who supports him, and anybody who's like, oh, you signed up for crazy. You got to work. You got to know how to trust me. Bruce Arians bent over backwards for this guy. He bent over backwards. He never wanted him, and he bent over backwards because all this shit was going down well before he took off his jersey. And they put up with it. They let him go time and time again. The fake card, blah, 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 blah. He was completely off the rails for weeks, if not months.
He was getting chippy with the media and everything, going after reporters.
Everything. And it's just, and Bruce had to do it. Enough's enough. You weren't injured. Well, go look at the first half tape. You weren't injured. So, yeah, and you certainly weren't limping off the field when you were taking off your pads and everything.
And I don't care what anybody says. That he cost
jumping up and down.
He cost the Bucs a chance to win another Super Bowl.
Of course he did.
He did.
If he stays on the team, if he just 2 more months, bro. Just keep it together for 2 more months. You get back-to-back Super Bowls.
Yeah, because
you get another big contract.
He wasn't going to be a Buck after that season, I don't think.
No. Yeah, and by the way, Cheetah, you're better than that, man. Don't do that. You don't follow that guy. Don't be gassing him up. Don't be in his camp. I mean, this is bad for Tyreek Hill. Didn't he just have another incident the other day?
Another one?
Yeah, something happened with Tyreek the other day. I forget what. Yeah, he got charged for something the other day.
Yeah, we talked about it last week.
Like, if I'm the Miami Dolphins and I'm sitting there, we're looking at this, like you're hanging out with AB, and all the money we're paying you, like the Dolphins are paying him like what, $24 million a year?
No, talk about $30 million.
Yeah, I mean, and he's hanging out with AB, listening to this, going, oh yeah, man, oh yeah. Wow, if I'm the Dolphins,
maybe you're this reason why the Chiefs said, yeah, we're not going to commit long term.
Damn right. They saw it coming. Trust me.
Doesn't he just fit Miami though?
Yeah, he does. And in Miami, Yeah, it's not going to end well for Tyreek Hill either. You watch. He's going to start. If he hasn't already, he's going to start doing AB things.
I don't think it's going to end well for Miami in general.
No, I don't
Especially
either.
since they added Jalen Ramsey. Ooh.
I forgot about that.
I honestly forgot about that. They added Jalen Ramsey. And, respect for what you did at Florida State, hell of a player and all that kind of stuff. But doesn't it feel like at any moment he could have like a he could be a loose cannon.
Yeah, and along with Tyreek Hill?
And then you have the most boring, docile human being.
Good thing you got Tua.
Mike McDaniel running the show.
Imagine Brady coming back and playing with those guys.
Whew.
No.
It don't seem like a fit, does it?
No, it really doesn't. It really doesn't.
Well, then again, look at the guy he played. Look at who he played with in New England, though. I mean,
it's true.
We're exactly holding up moral standards there either. Were we?
All right. Well, I think that'll do it for today.
That brings us to the end.
All right. Thanks for putting a bow tie on that one, AB. All right. Our thanks to all you folks who commented today. Go take our poll questions. Follow the show at the JP Peterson Show, and you can vote in all those polls. We retweeted them anyway. And we'll be back tomorrow with more fun and frivolity. We'll see you then.